welcome back to VBS. I can't believe we only have 2 days left. I hope you have been having as much fun as us. It is so much fun to do VBS with you in this new way. I loved our story yesterday and how Abraham and Sarah were called to be trusting of God's promises and how we are called to be trusting of God's promises. And the best promise that God gives of all is that He forgives sins.
Look what I got, honey. A friend just sent me some honey.
Oh my goodness, you are really blessed. What a sweet gift and what a sweet friend.
You know what, I am blessed, and it's an unexpected gift, which makes it even better, and it just makes me so happy knowing somebody would send this to me.
That actually reminds me of the story that Miss Denise is going to share from the Bible today. It's about Abraham and Sarah and how they were gifted and blessed by a special gift from God and how we are actually blessed through this gift too.
Was it honey?
No, it was something much sweeter. But I'm going to let Miss Denise tell you about that. What I can tell you is that God blesses us every single day. He provides us with our homes, food in our bellies, honey, our friends, our family, and God is blessing us every day this week.
You know, this week has been a big blessing, and you know, the best part is it's not even over yet.
I know.
Hey everyone,
Hey.
Hi there. Before I read the story, and it's an awesome story about being blessed by God, I have a great song that talks about being blessed by God. All that is good. So click on the link in your email and let's get singing. Kids, the Bible reading for today is from Genesis chapter 21, 1 through 7. The Lord dealt with Sarah as He had said, and the Lord did for Sarah as He had promised. Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son in his old age, at the time of which God had spoken to him. Abraham gave the name Isaac to his son whom Sarah bore him, and Abraham circumcised his son Isaac when he was 8 days old, as God had commanded him. Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born to him. Now Sarah said, God has brought laughter for me. And she said, who would have ever have said to Abraham that Sarah would nurse children? Yet I have borne him a son in his old age. Remember, kids, we are called to be blessed by God. Now it's your turn at home to continue the story with Craft and Snack.
Hi, boys and girls. It's story time again. I love to tell stories. And I've been...
Story time!
Yes, Bernard, you're here. Hooray.
Hooray for Bernard!
Yes. Are you anxious to hear the rest of the story?
I love your stories.
Yes. Well, remember yesterday, those visitors told Abraham and Sarah that they were going to have a baby.
I like babies.
Well, they did too. And sure enough, it wasn't long before Sarah realized God had blessed her and she was going to have a baby. And she and Abraham were just so delighted when a baby boy was born. And when he was born, Abraham said, his name is going to be...
Is it Bernard?
Not Bernard.
Oh.
Abraham said, his name is going to be Isaac.
That's a good name too. Not as good as Bernard, but a good name.
It is a good name. It was especially good for Isaac, and Sarah knew why. And she said, Abraham, that's a perfect name, because the word Isaac means laughter. And
Do you know what Bernard means?
Bernard, what does it mean?
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yep.
I can't imagine that, Bernard. I am sure that that is what your name means. But Sarah said, I laughed because I didn't trust God. I thought it was too old to have a baby, and Abraham, you're 100 years old, and I'm almost that old, and you'd think we'd be too old to have a baby, but God blessed us, and with God, nothing is impossible.
That's amazing.
So she said, Isaac is a perfect name, because I laughed when I heard about him being born, and now everybody is laughing with me because we're so happy that we have a son. And now I'm beginning to understand how that promise that God made is possible, because he promised Abraham he was going to have a big family, and now they have a start. So God kept his promise, and Bernard, that's just about the end of our story for today.
That's a great story.
I hope I'm not interrupting.
Oh, of course not, Mr. Me.
Could we sing our theme song now? You know I love to sing.
We sort of thought that.
Oh,
Good, let's go.
Let's
Bye,
do it.
Bernard.
Bye.
Our theme today is called to be blessed by God. So our first line of our song is going to change to show that. Called to be, blessed by God Almighty for eternity. Called to be, blessed by God Almighty for eternity. Called to be, a follower of God. Called to be, blessed by God Almighty for eternity. Called to be, a follower of God. Abraham and Sarah were blessed with a son, the first of so many, a nation was begun. Jesus came from that great family, died and rose again, saved us, now we're followers of God. Called to be, blessed by God Almighty for eternity. Called to be, a follower of God.
What another fun day at VBS we had today, kids, where we learned that we are called to be blessed by God. And we learned that through such wonderful stories and snacks and crafts. And we get to learn tomorrow that we are called to be with God for eternity. So see you tomorrow, kids.